Hey, internet. Okay, so shooting from the hip on this one, so no condensed YouTube nuggets, but hopefully, definitely still two useful topics. I'm only going to do one of them, but there are two more to come later. So, first, housekeeping. They're just really cool company that makes these really cool bags. Upper Park Disc Golf. They make this shift bag that I really like. It's my favorite bag to use on actual trying to score well rounds, not practice rounds, because it limits you to 18 discs. Two sets of two here, two sets of two here, and then 9 in the main compartment. I think that adds up to that number. Anyways, the prices are going to go up soon. They're taking pre-orders for their two new colors. They have a lighter gray than that and a actually black for once, which is really cool. I wish they had that when I bought mine. But I really like that bag. They also have a bigger one. There's an affiliate link below. You can get 15% off. That 15% goes straight to me. That is a very cool way to help the channel out while saving some money. So please go check their stuff out. Discount also applies to all their stuff on the site. They have some discs, I think, now, and they also sell a bunch of apparel and stuff. And they are actually a cool company, which is the reason I work with them. They send us emails to the ambassador program folks, just giving us updates of what's going on with the company, and they seem very, very groovy. So please go support them, support me in the process. Also, Patreon, there's lots of space on the Patreon. I'm really enjoying working with a couple of people that are sending me videos a lot more often than they should, than what they're paying for. But because I have space, I'm allowed to do that. So right now I'm in the under promise and over deliver part of developing that business. So if you want to put in some good work on your throw, now's a great time to hop on there. Please do. I enjoy working with folks. Okay, housekeeping out of the way. Two things that I see wrong the most in playing around and watching people and in my coaching sessions and in looking at disc golf form check Facebook and just browsing people's form critique videos that they put up and helping out when I have time. Two biggest issues are elbow orientation rounding, so people that reach back here and then their elbow is going to bend this way, and that's not useful when their swing plane is here. That was kind of my mission when I started coaching, was to just drop a knowledge bomb into the community and get that issue fixed. It seems to be not possible. I can do as many videos on it as I want, and still every day 3 people post on disc golf form check saying, why am I rounding? It's because your elbow's in the wrong spot. Put it there. So that's the first topic. I'll do another video on that one shortly. Just did a review for a friend on disc golf form check, so go look that up if you want to see what I'm thinking about. But the other one that I wanted to talk about today for reals is throwing that way. If I end up here in a brace and then I go to throw and this leg stays here or comes towards my brace leg or immediately goes this way, that is a problem. That is always 100% going to limit my ability to throw the way that I want to. The most common way this manifests is if I have a hyzer lean in my spine, like I'm trying to throw on this release angle right here. What's that? Maybe 20 degrees, 30 degrees. I'm trying to throw here and this foot stays here. As my torso rotates forward, it will always stand up to be in line or closer to in line with that leg. I can't do an explosive movement and will myself to stay down here because it defies physics. So, and it's really counterintuitive to get your rear leg to counterweight the way that I want it to. That's part of why I came up with the whole one leg sequence stuff. So if you're planting, doesn't matter how much offset you have, if this leg stays here, you're never going to reach your full potential. Is that fair to say? I think so. Yeah. You may be able to throw very well like that. There are people that do that. Nicolas Antilla is one of them. Exceptional player. Not ideal form, in my opinion. I think he could throw farther if he used a more optimized form. Maybe he doesn't need to. If he can win tournaments throwing the way he's doing, that's fine. Great for him. But this is what I'm trying to help people find, because I think it works better for all body types, or at least for somewhat less athletic body types. I am not the most athletic individual in the world, and I have had the most success using this method because I feel like it puts your body in a structure and a framework where all of your momentum and all of your body is able to contribute to the throw rather than just a few powerful muscle groups. So that's like high level theory stuff. But back to the lower level, what I want is when I go to my plant, whatever angle I'm stepping out on, I want this leg to go that way. I want it to go east behind me. And in the one leg drill stuff, a lot of times I say that I want the leg dead east. In a real throw and a full throw, it's actually going to end up southeast. It's not going to get all the way to 90 degrees behind you. But we over cue to establish the feeling in a limited context, hoping that it will come out as southeast in a full throw. So what I need is, as I step to my brace, I need my rear foot to continue towards the target and even go towards my glutes a little bit. So what that would look like is this. Boom. This, being a counterweight, allows me to stay on this hyzer angle in my spine. If I come out of the counterweight, when I do an explosive movement here, I will always right myself if my brain is functioning and trying to keep my head from hitting the ground. It probably is if you're able to play disc golf. The only way I can stay down on this hyzer, which is what allows my swing plane to be consistent. If I'm trying to throw this angle and my body rights me, my angle changed. I'm going to get off-axis torque. I'm going to have an accidental anti-release. I'm going to turn everything over too much. All sorts of bad stuff is going to happen. So we need to get here. That's why the one leg drill starts here, establishing this axis. Let's see what else. Another thing, I'm jumping around here, sorry. Another thing that gets overlooked or misunderstood a lot is what the one leg drill is and what it isn't. So the one leg drill is static, and it's making this leg a stand-in for an active and dynamic brace. An active and dynamic brace goes that way. It means, boom, it means I have to have momentum. Anytime you have momentum, you're upping the difficulty exponentially, and it's very hard to learn things while there is momentum. So the one leg drill removes the momentum and says, okay, let's just have this be a stand-in for the brace. From here down, let's just lock it in, don't move it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to establish the power source is gravity in my rear hip. So I'm just going to lift my trebuchet basket, drop my trebuchet basket, and that's the only thing that's going to create torque in my spine that's going to go up, get added to by my core, and then my shoulder is going to direct that energy into my upper arm, which is going to stay on the plane, and then my elbow and my hand are going to sling out. Disc is going to pivot out of my fingers and rip out of my fingers, and I'm going to have a throw, something that resembles a throw. That is the goal, is to find the power there with stillness and balance in your front leg. So it's not overreaching behind and spinning out forward. It's finding power here and finding stillness from the leg down and saying, okay, can I get a decent amount of power and stay balanced here? And then can I have a decent hit point at 45 degrees before my target line, which is, that's another video that needs to happen again. So that is the drill. It works because this hip socket is locked in place by this bone stack. That's what allows this hip dropping to be turned into torque. If this is not solid and this hip is allowed to drop with this hip, there's no hip torque. There's just hips falling for no reason. It's the pull and push that makes it work. So the one leg drill is static, is vertical because it's aligned with gravity. The second we get into a more realistic throw, we have momentum, and then our brace can't be straight up and down vertical anymore. It has to go into the ground at an angle in order to counter the momentum. So if I'm moving at a certain rate of speed, I need a certain angle on my front leg. Then when I toe to heel and get my heel down and drive, I'm actually creating a force vector that goes that way, up behind me. That's what makes this hip clear out of the way. It's going up and back. Meanwhile, this hip is on a similar vector to what we had. In the one leg drill, there's a vector here and a vector here. Those being offset means there's a push-pull, which creates torque. That's easy-ish. This is really hard because I have to calibrate my push up with my drop down and get those to not be aligned with each other, but get them to just cross each other to where they still create the same hip torque. So vectors that are aligned make you stop without moving your hips. Vectors that are not aligned create a crumple zone, which is the type of hip power that we need to be explosive enough to get out to 500 feet, potentially. So the one leg drill is a progression that is static, that is helping you find the range of motion between your pelvis and your femur that you can open and close and get power from that. That's the magic at the hip level that happens. That cannot happen if this foot stays here. If this foot stays here, I can't crumple because my leg is stuck behind me. With this leg stuck behind, even if it's not like super far out of position, I can't crumple into this. I can. What's my problem when I throw? It doesn't work as well without the leg back here. You need this whole side of the body to be able to fold in. When you get strung out, which is what happens more often, then you can't rotate into this front hip because the hip can't come forward. There isn't range of motion in the rear leg for the hip to come forward anymore. Once you get the hip into position, then you can come forward a little bit, but it's even better if the leg gets to southeast. Then you can really get into that front leg crease and have a crumple zone where your hips switch sides because of the front hip clearing. So anyways, I hope that clears up some stuff. Please go check out Upper Park Disc Golf, discount code below, and please sign up on the Patreon if you are interested in some coaching. All right, Internet, thank you. We'll see you next time.